Hi, here we are, Jacqueline's orchids, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to care for these orchids, and everybody can do it. Once every 2 weeks or so, nothing too fussy. If I think the aerial roots are looking a little dry, or these roots up here, then I'll water them, a pretty good soaking of water, and I let it go right through because we have big holes in these pots. And even though they're big pots, some people say you shouldn't put them in big pots. I've done better with these big paint cans with holes drilled in them, or any big can. They seem happy. I'm pouring this whole thing of water in. I'm going to let it have a good soak, and I probably do that once every 2 weeks, and maybe once a week in the summer. They're in a west-facing window for the winter. It would be too hot to leave them there during the summer, but right now it's beautiful. They love it. They get lots of light, and it's never too hot. But for the summer, you'd want a south or north-southeast facing window. And then what I do is I wipe each leaf underneath and make sure there's no scale, which are those little brown things, and it quite often comes off brown on your wiping cloth. And I make sure they're all clean. Sometimes there's some little sticky stuff, and I wipe that off. And I have rubbing alcohol you can get, and I just water it down about 3/4 rubbing alcohol and 1/4 water. And I sterilize my scissors, which I use, and all I buy is these, which I get these little pads at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. There's a little one hiding, but you know, it's funny, you do find things hiding, and it doesn't take long just to check them over and make sure you get everything. Now, in between these 2 weeks, I have a little spray bottle with water, and I quite often spray the outside to make sure everything's okay. And they like it, maybe in the morning, and then they've got the whole day to dry off a bit. And I'm going to come in front of you here and get this side. So basically, you just give them a little wipe. And if you see any sticky stuff or anything that looks foreign, just wipe it off. And I do this with all of them. I'm just an amateur. I have these 4 orchids. I have a couple more in the other room. And I learned a lesson. Do not move them until they're through flowering. This one has been in flower for close to 2 months now. And this is the basil kiki coming up here, and when this finishes blooming, I could cut it back to just under one of the higher nodes, and I'd probably get another shoot. But I might just let this one go, but I might try and get another shoot off of one of the main orchid stems. And if they look healthy, I think it's a fun thing to do. You get another orchid, and as the plant gets older, you're more likely to have close to continuous flowering. So this one's done. It's watered. It's gone through. I've wiped it. And if I seen anything I should want to take off, I would. But sometimes you do find little things. I hate in here in these leaves because you can't clean in there very good. But this one looks pretty good. I'll just move it back into the window. Oop, 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 oop. There we go. You're done. And we'll move this one. I don't know how this is showing up. I've never done it before, but I sure want to encourage you to. I'll get a new cloth for this one. And I just dab it in the water. This one looks really healthy. I don't see anything that doesn't look too good. So it'll get its watering, and it's good to go too. So I hope this has been a little bit informative to you. And that's it for today. And this is my garden window, which I love. And it does like this. I have two of these. I have one in the other room, and I have two orchids there that are just blooming now. But these have been for about 2 months. And that's basically all I do once I repotted them into the bigger pots. And the other one's a normal orchid pot. It seems happy. I just do not like the pots they sell them in. As soon as I get an orchid that as soon as it's finished flowering, I repot it because they're in plastic pots. They get crammed. Their roots are growing through plastic and sometimes splitting off. And so what I did, as soon as the ones I bought were through flowering, I repotted them right away, just in the bark mulch you get. And it's so easy. And they last so long. We've had these all through the winter now. They're still doing really good. And I really encourage you to try this. I love it. It's a great retirement thing. Anybody can do it. Anybody can. Anyway, have fun growing your orchids.